Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us for our 2022 annual meeting. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting. Watch, guys. Call the meeting to order at 6:04, and we're going to go ahead and start with our introduction. Well, actually, we're going to talk about the election. So you can see it, everybody. We've got calendars up here. It is our 2022 election of 2 board seats. So at the end of their counting, we will have an announcement of this meeting on who your new board members will be beginning in 2023. So this is Oakland Howard. The association has hired them to do all of the time. So the association is completely hands off when it comes to our ballot. One more thing. Okay, so this is your current board of directors. We have Christina Bilbrey, president and treasurer, Mona Goshen, our vice president, Adriana Vera, secretary, Lisa Hires, director, and John Barr, director. And our management team. So Sharon Bollinger is our community manager. She unfortunately is out today. I'm Kate Moran, your assistant community manager. In the back, we have our CCMC vice president, Deanna Conrad. We have Sonia Lindquist, who is our community standards director, Ernest Young, community standards coordinator, and Jennifer Odell, community standards coordinator. For facilities, we have Jeff Kleinman, our facilities director, Edward Flores, operations coordinator, and Susanna Solorzano as our porter. Lifestyle and communications is Tasha Forrest McMillan, our lifestyle director, and Taylor Minton, lifestyle coordinator. For our resident services team, we have Kyle Clint as the administrative supervisor and Tara Height, resident services coordinator. Board candidates, we have Shirley Brown, Zachary DeLeon, Robert Bob Flynn, Andrew Hansen, Lisa Hires, Eugene Lang, Nam Pham, James Tizira, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Ian Bellard. Here is our organizational chart if there's questions on how the association works. So the Inspirada Board of Directors hires our company as a management team to come in and manage the association for you all. They are in charge of all of the committees. We have our community manager. And below that is myself, liaison director, facilities director, and under that are the rest of our commissioners. We also want to thank Greg Kerr, council, for the association here. We've been working with Wolford and Shapiro, Shulman and Jackson forever up there, I think, right?
5 years.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that tonight, Greg. Okay, so we're gonna start with in-product community association committees, and first up is comments. So Sonia. Well, first off, I want to thank my committee members. We had Michael Maribel, John Daly, Leland Sands, and Thomas Faber and Doug Taken. So they're our covenants committee. For 2022, we have had 9,650 violations that were open this year. The violation resolution after the first letter was 89%, so that's a really good turnaround. Overall compliance rate for the year is 98%. Accounts currently in continuing fine status, we have 19 properties, so less than 1%. Our most common violation letters for 2022, landscapes was our highest for trash, weeds, pruning the trees, pruning the shrubs, everything landscape related. Rubbish and debris was at 21.76%. The majority of that is for trash cans not being stored or improperly stored items. So items outside of the home, common area or properties. And third was maintenance. So that was 6.63%. Majority of that's for lighting, address lights, lights not being replaced, repairs for stucco and garage doors for any damage. Okay, I also have the design review committee. So our chair is Peter Yanchin. Members are Elizabeth Baker, Walt Conrad, Lisa Tinsley, and Daniel Volcano. So for 2022, design reviews reviewed 900 applications. The monthly average is about 75. Most common applications for this year are initial backyard landscaping, solar, and pools. So I handle all of the service area committees and community enhancement committees. So for the community enhancement committee, thank you for those who are part of that committee and getting so many wonderful things done this year. Our chairperson is Joe Meggers, and our committee members are Jim Michael, Samantha Schaefer, Megan Gonzalez, and Patricia Smith. This committee's accomplishments this year have actually been really great. They accomplished getting concrete logo benches as well as practice obstacles installed along the West Trail and the overlook. They are also currently working on, it will be complete by the end of the year. Still not complicated. We are getting solar bollard lights installed into our pocket parks, our older pockets in Nevada, so everybody can enjoy that when half the sun is going down. And service area committee, there's a lot. There is. So our first one is for Altura. Chairperson is Alicia Malo, and committee members Lauren Turner and Melissa Brzezinski. They completed a new front entryway enhancement, including monument signs, lighting, and landscaping. Escala, we have Pat Wardren as chairperson, Lloyd Kirsting, and Veronica Barisic. They are still working on budgeting to try and get an enhancement for their neighborhood. At the estate, Wendy Nelson as chairperson, Brian Dorsey and Matt Estrella completed new front entryway landscaping enhancement and lighting. Lana, we have Kelly Michael as our chairperson and Nancy Degregorio. They completed the installation of license plate readers at the entry and exit gates, installation of reflective tape on their gates, and they're in the process of entryway landscape lighting. For park, there is Rick Knoll as chairperson, Kathy Greer, and Kelly Goldbach. Park completed installation of a monument sign at the entryway. For the Farrell, we have Brad Mark and Stephen County. They completed the installation of license plate readers at the entry and exit gates and for entry landscape enhancement, as well as wrought iron repainting and asphalt seal filling. For terraces, we have Jimmy Dahu for chairperson, Marla Blatt and Bob Ellison. And they completed their front entryway landscape enhancement and installation of solar bollard lights within their neighborhood. And at Toll Brothers Clubhouse, we have Mike Powell, chairperson, Shirley Brown, and Thomas Faber. And they accomplished the replacement of a drinking fountain here at the clubhouse, replacement and rescreening of pool furniture, adding a photo cell to exterior lights to add additional lighting to the exterior doors, as well as upgraded all the window blinds. And next, we're gonna have Jeff Hyman come up.
This year's Master Association accomplishments were tons of pool, we replanted the pool, resurfaced the pool deck, Aventura and Center Pool, we replaced the pool furniture. Atessa, Village 5 and 7 pools, surveillance cameras were installed. Leave the community center, we replaced the large canopy, cage structure in the pavilion. And then we completed plant tree replacements for spring and fall. We had 2,161 plants and 453 trees. And then we're in the process of completing sod replacement for this year. With a total of 13,440 square feet of sod. Our benefited areas accomplishments, city homes. We did plant tree replacements. And we will finish, rock refreshment will be finished by the end of the year. We did finalize turnover with Toll Brothers and KB Homes for pod 5.2, pod 7.2, and 7.4.
So next, we're gonna have Tasha come on up for our social committee update. For the social committee, our members are Kelly Michael, our chairperson, Stuart Carlson, Carol Friedman, Barbara Conrad, Rachel Casares, Diane Reinhardt, and Becky Roman. Our accomplishments this year, we grew our student event in attendance, including our most recent one, which is our fall festival, to 3,000 plus. We increased the numbers of our vendor sponsors, including the Raiderettes and Starbucks, the new one that was open. We created new events and activities for the community, including a bike month education event in May. We had our Red, White, Blue kick off the 4th of July weekend, and we had our recent Veterans Day ceremony, which is one of the annual event. For communications, we added 745 new subscribers to our weekly newsletter so far, and it grows every week. And we have our social media channels, which continue to grow monthly. Facebook and Instagram, to continue to gain followers each month. Thank you. All right. So just a reminder of her community volunteer opportunities. Esperanto offers a wide variety of volunteer opportunities to your unique skills and abilities to provide them. Be sure to check out the borrow position of the Esperanto for information on committees and how to submit their interest form. Committees currently looking for volunteers are the community management committee, governance committee, design review committee, and the social committee. Thank you. Okay, so for our secretary's report, this is a point where we do have to approve last year's meeting minutes. So if I can have someone make a motion to approve our 2021 annual meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Jim. And do I have a second? Thank you. Treasurer report. So we have no changes to the assessments proposed for the community or any service area budget for 2023. So yay. The purpose of the budget is for operation, maintenance, and enhancement of the common areas reserved for future expenses and social events for 2023. The 2022 reserve settings for community and service areas reflect adequately refunded reserve accounts for community as well as all of the service areas. 2023 budget and reserve study information have already been provided to you in the mail. If you do need extra copies, please feel free to contact the office. And we'll send it over to you. Okay, so 2023 budget questions. Does anybody have questions about the budget that were sent to you? Nope. Okay. So 2023 budget ratification, budget for adopted by the board of directors at the regular board meeting on October 18th, 2022. And unless 75% of the respective owners of record vote to reject a budget, it is considered ratified as of this meeting. The budget is for operation, maintenance, and enhancement of the common areas, reserved for future expenses and social events for 2023. A quorum is required to hold a vote to reject any proposed budget. So we do not have 75%, so our budget is ratified for 2023. Okay, so 2022 board of directors election results. I know you guys are still counting, so keep going. There will be 2 positions that we are filling. As soon as they're done, they give us our final numbers to be able to get that in. Oh. I can tell you, I know that there was a question earlier about how many ballots were received. We received 501 that were able to be verified and that are being counted.
502, I think. We got it.
Oh, 502? There was 15. I was so sure we count.
We'll have the election results by tonight.
Yeah.
Go.
Right. So things are still coming. If you want to go ahead and move forward to the resident comments section. Does anybody have any comments?
Just a kind of just general kind of.
Yes.
I had a couple, I was just kind of, we've been here 7.5 years, so I just kind of curious. Because I know we're required to keep up outside of our house. Is there a timeline set to have the painting reflect at all? Is there any type of revision for the association to come out and say, hey, it's time to repaint, or is that individualistic?
I mean, that it kind of is both, right? So the community standards will go around and they will check the houses, and if something is really faded or tipping really bad or anything like that, they will have another thing to probably refresh the paint. If you want to do it sooner, perfectly fine. If you don't get a lot of sun to cause a lot of fading or tipping and you can wait an extra couple of years, that's completely fine.
Right, yeah, because I know I have the codes on all. Right, I was just kind of curious if like at year 10, they say, hey, it's time to take a look at that. So it could be one individual.
Yes, most of, like I said, they'll only send you a notice if it's really bad.
Okay.
If they start noticing it.
Okay, I've noticed that, we got notices that they were replacing sidewalks, or, you know, where the trees were moving sidewalks. Is that project ongoing? Because I do a lot of walking, and I've seen some that have been, look like they've been identified, but there's a few sidewalks where they're starting to pop up, so I was kind of curious, where are we in that project?
So
So majority of our sidewalks throughout the community are public right of way. So the city, they come out and do the inspections.
So that's the city of Henderson?
Yeah, I did notice today, I was over in Pod 22, the old party area there, you know, in Caparilla Park. And I noticed some panels that were painted yellow.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I know, I think they're getting ready to send the crew out to start either removing them or cutting them. I know they'll have a precision concrete come out to cut them if they're not too tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one where they're not obviously identified, what is our duty or right to identify those? Do we call the office or do we call someone in the city?
I would say you could reach out, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can both, you can reach out to us, and you can reach out to the city, you can reach out to the city, just that way everybody's aware of the issue.
Okay. And my daughter owns on the other side of Bicentennial in a townhome. Number seven. She, what is her process of getting the newsletter, the email, the electronic newsletter? She's been in her house for like 2 years and it says that she's
I'll grab you copies of the card,
Okay.
it's out front, I'll grab you one of those.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And she should just be able to go on the website and once you create a login and everything.
That simple.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll make sure to grab you copies.
Okay. And I guess that.
Okay.
I've been fortunate, I've only gotten one more. But it got me thinking, and I, like I said, I walk in the neighborhood, and I see like notices that come out and where, alerting residents to do certain things with their landscaping.
Right.
And I don't always see the same thing in our common areas. Sometimes I see our common areas where stuff is growing onto the sidewalk, the trees are really low, and I have to walk around them. Can someone talk about what do we do go about having, so the standard is equal like this?
So I can tell you, if you're seeing plants growing into the
Yeah.
sidewalk,
Yeah.
it's either an area that's not turned over
Okay.
or it's city of Henderson.
Oh, okay.
I know around the parks and stuff, there's stuff that's
That's
growing
pretty
over
much
into the
city of
sidewalks.
Henderson.
Yeah. And then I do 2 plant replacement projects a year. We got a ton of acres of common area, so I do them in 2 big projects. I walk the community and do punch lists with the landscapers, and we submit those to the board for approval. Same with rock refresh. We walk the community, find out the areas that need it the most, and try to use up whatever the budget is for crop refresh and use it up and do the worst areas. And that is I'm on a rotation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Are there any others? Oh, try to first.
I have a question and a suggestion. So my question is about the budget. I realize I missed the budget question. It's my understanding that the holiday lights are moving from lifestyle to.
They're on line.
Yeah, and then are they, their own line item, or is it under, so I was told that it might be under community enhancement?
So it's another line item under. It's just that's where it's categorized in, but it is its own line item.
So are they allocated additional money for that, or is that coming out of the budget that community enhancement?
For next year. So we're gonna have more areas.
No, and I just want to make sure that it's not eating up our cost.
Right. So it is a part of the community enhancement, that is just a part, that's where the money is coming from, it's a part of that budget, but as a separate line item, so it will be the standard for holiday decorations is, 900 or whatever it may be, and the rest of it is. So it is.
It was added to it.
It was added to it.
Yeah, it actually wasn't into the social budget.
Right.
Kind of categorized
Right,
together, so it
right.
just pulled out of there and just went to a different place.
It was
We're tracking.
And it is not being deducted.
Right.
Okay, so just, okay. Yeah, right.
And then, my suggestion is for, what came up at our social committee meeting yesterday. I was thinking that it might be a good idea for someone, I don't know who might be able to tackle it, but to go through and look at the addresses that we send our quarterly mailers to. And to of those addresses in Inspirata, and then maybe figure out, because then those are the homes that are probably being rented out or whatever. And then still send them a mailer to that address with, because the quarterly, mailers have lots of really good information about the community that if you're a renter, you might not be getting them because it's going to your landlord instead of you. Exactly.
A little bit more outreach to the renters that are right here.
So that was one of the things that we had always been concerned with. How do we get information to people who are renting and not homeowners? And that might be one thing to do that.
Definitely.
You know how many people rent?
I can answer that.
How many properties put up that to them already? How many ballots do you send out? I know you got 501 time, right?
Correct. So we sent one to every homeowner.
Do you know that number?
That would be a little over 5,000.
So I brought up a couple items at the last meeting, it was the October meeting. Would this be the venue to talk about those or wait so we might?
So if for any sort of board questions that would go in front of the board directors for them to make those decisions, it would be the next board meeting. This is just an annual members meeting.
Hi, about a month ago, I sent an email to Jeff Hyman. And he said that Tri Point is gonna come and glue the blue reflector that identifies where the fire hydrant is on my street. Because it's been knocked off for 5 months and it's over on the sidewalk. And you know, if you go online, you think like, I don't know, $8 to $30. So we're still waiting, having him glue back on. And he said that Tri Point will do it. And honestly, I don't have any faith in Tri Point. They are not on our board. And I've had problems with them myself to the point where I've taken to arbitration. So they don't have any good running around. Is there any reason why the HOAs can't get another little feedback and put it back on there? I mean, how much does that really cost?
So it's something that we can look into, but if that area hasn't been turned over by them yet, then we don't want to be making alterations to their property that hasn't been. I don't really understand, and I'm gonna work with them for time. We can figure out, things you kind of put a little fire under them to get it done.
Right.
So, yeah. So
Well, I think, well, what I requested last meeting, right, was to have a report from the builder in regards to exactly how many houses that they sold and how many houses they turned over. And I think because there's so many questions with regard to areas that have been turned over, not turned over, and that actually should be part of that report. So I think what happens is like, you know, well, it could be or it couldn't be. I mean, we're talking like huge swaths of development that could be under the HOA, but if they're not turned over, then it falls into this circle of not having anything done to it because we don't want to do it.
so most definitely, and I do have all of my notes from the last meeting, and we are adding that report into our standard quarterly report. All right, that handled.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Were there any other questions or comments?
One real quick thing, I don't know if you might have done that. I'm curious about the grass areas and the sod was mentioned earlier with the increasing problems with the drought and things like that as we head on up out of the area where we're replacing a lot of those grass areas.
Right.
What is the thought process? Because I hate to see all the grass go, you know, like some parts of the nice one out. Is there been a directive or is there a conversation as far as losing any of the grass that's presently green?
So there will be some areas that the city will require us to remove turf, just because they do not adhere to their guidelines. Because of the water drought and everything like that, we're not anticipating to pull all of it out, but there will be areas that will need to be removed.
Yeah, I would think the athletic fields, that type of grass is engineered to be.
Well, and all of those athletic fields are all city parks, so that we don't have any hands on that. It would mostly be like the smaller pocket parks or areas like here. Those will be what we.
Yeah, I'd hate to see it.
Right. Yeah.
Who controlled the wash areas, like between Feroli and Palmezzo? The wash area,
Out in the new areas on the west there.
yeah,
Oh, so that's,
On both sides, like, are you talking about inside the wash where,
the wash area, where all the construction companies or contractors, all their garbage is blowing into our garbage.
so the parcels, the native landscape out there is still owned and maintained by Esprada Builders LLC, the master developer, and then the actual flood panels themselves would be considered.
Because they really need to do it, they just get clean up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what's
it's-
intended, you know what's intended for that area?
it's probably just gonna be native landscape out there. I know some areas are getting some trail, kind of like the West Trail, East Trail, but, most of it just be native.
So they really need, you know,
Does maybe mean that they're just gonna leave it?
It's just gonna be natural, yeah, that's the natural.
But they're
vegetation.
gonna clean it, right?
They should be, it's their land, so they should be cleaning it. I know I've sent,
will the city of Henderson enforce? If there's garbage out there? will
Oh, yeah.
Enforce, you know, enforce the building.
yeah, I've sent correspondence to them, here and there when I receive those reports and I give it to them and they, you know, I always get the feedback that they're on and then we'll take a look at it, but, with the constant construction of this, you're gonna get that debris, but as we get the reports in, we see it, we'll let IBL know as well. We can make sure they're on it.
Right, I know she, you raised your hand.
I just got a follow-up to the grass. Has given us additional directions beyond what the state has already mandated versus like the ornamental versus.
Not that, I don't believe we've got anything extra.
Okay, because I don't have any decorative, like ornamental grass, it's all functional, so I'm confused as to why. we
That'll
just use
support
black. That's fake grass. Oh, we, what mentioned this? It's like the stuff along.
Non-useful grass, but they're all on some.
Like there's no. So it's like truly ornamental, it's only to look at, it's not functional, you can't use it. So we're only required to pull out the non-functional grass, we're allowed to keep functional grass. So, and I don't.
Right,
know, we have-
we'll be working with the city and with following any grass. There's a lot to go through each
because
area.
all the grass we have is functional, it's not, you don't have one. Even so, I was just wondering, I had this the second time I've heard that we might be pulling grass out, and I was confused as to why we would be doing that if we have not been given additional directions.
Oh, yeah, just to answer your question about the culverts and the storm. Most of those, I'm not so sure about the private ones that haven't been turned over. But the state, along with every other state, is under EPA regulations in regards to stormwater runoff. And generally speaking, like if City of Henderson has storm drains or drainage ditches under their control, they're normally cleaned out right prior to the wet weather season. And then so what happens is you get all that stuff out of there. And then when the wet weather season hits, it's not tumbling all the way down. And so, but usually during wet weather, they kind of wait for all the rains to go by and then they come back and do it. Otherwise, you're kind of like chasing your tail all the time. So you'll see cyclic cleaning. And normally it comes in like right before the wet weather season. And that reduces what's called the TMDL, the total maximum daily flows.
And what month is that?
Well, I don't know here how they got their schedule. I mean, there's so many of them around here, so they might do it on, yearly or maybe every 2 years, but it has to be on the schedule. But I'm sure that you contact, Henderson Stormwater or something like, it's usually the stormwater abatement department that takes care of the channels, and they'll let you know which ones they're in charge of and then which ones they're not. And so that's basically, that's how they run the cycle.
Any more questions or comments? Looks like they're almost done counting, so we should have your results in just a few minutes.
Right.
Yes, we won't really do that. Yeah. So that area, you know, that's. Yeah. 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 There's been asked. No, yeah, there's an ask. Majority of the streets are public, so city. Yeah, so. So now like the days and the games that we and they come. Yeah, those people. Yeah.
Okay, we have our results for our 2022 board of director election. So
Your two new board members are Zachary DeLeon and Lisa Hires. So thank you all so much for attending. We're gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 6:43. I do want to let everybody know there is a thank you video for all of our paid volunteers if you'd like to watch. And help yourself to all.
But when I do that, it doesn't. Maybe it's because of. Like up here. View. Okay.
No. Yeah, I like this one. I would like to check out. I will say one thing.
I don't. I don't know. There's that, but it's not.
You guys need me to fix it again?
Yes. Don't know.
What's going on?
So we gotta go.
Can you end the Zoom? Can you end it? What do you mean?
But we are